Most companies pick value metrics like they're grabbing items off a clearance rack, and then they wonder why customers get annoyed or churn for support. In this breakdown, I'm showing you the exact mistakes that turn a great deal into a silent rage quit. If you've ever struggled with pricing or felt your metric just isn't landing, you're about to see why. Before you even think about pricing or value metric, you need to understand what it actually is. It's the number that proves your customer is getting the outcome they paid for. Not usage, not activity, actual progress. If this metric goes up, the customer should feel like the product is working for them. When you're choosing a value metric, there are only 3 tests that actually matter. First, it has to tie back to the customer's outcome. If it doesn't reflect the win they care about, it's the wrong metric. Second, it has to be predictable. Customers should be able to guess their bill without doing maths in a panic. And third, it needs to scale with their success. As they grow, the value grows, so the price naturally grows with it. When a value metric moves, your customer should immediately feel the impact. If it goes up, they should think, great, I'm getting more out of this. If it drops, they should feel the loss. That's how you know the metric is tied to real outcomes instead of internal vanity numbers. The whole point is to measure progress your customer actually cares about. The second test is predictability. Your customer should know next month's bill without doing maths in their head. If the value metric jumps around too much, people don't trust it. They start watching every usage spike, they open support tickets, and suddenly your pricing feels risky instead of helpful. A good value metric behaves the same way every month, so customers feel in control, not on edge. Your value metric also has to scale. If your customer doubles their usage because their business is growing, the metric should grow with them in a way that feels fair. They should see the connection instantly. When the product helps them win, the bill makes sense. When growth slows, nothing feels punitive. This is how you keep expansion revenue healthy without creating resentment. When you look at great SaaS companies, their value metric always line up with how customers actually use the product. Shopify tracks GMV because it grows when their merchants grow. Stripe watches transactions because more payments mean the business is getting traction. HubSpot focuses on active contacts because that's the heartbeat of a scaling CRM. All 3 have one thing in common. The metric rises only when the customer is genuinely succeeding. Bad value metrics usually show you activity, not progress. If you charge based on storage used, number of reports, or admin logins, you're basically taxing people for using the product. And that feels punishing, not rewarding. These metrics grow even when the customer gets no real outcome, which is why they create friction, bill shock, and eventually churn. When you're picking a value metric, start by looking at the outcome your best customers actually care about. If the metric doesn't match what they're trying to achieve, it won't guide anything. Then check how it scales. You want a metric that grows as your customer grows, so both sides stay aligned. And the final check is simple. If your customer needs a spreadsheet to guess next month's bill, the metric is wrong. Go with something they can intuitively predict, because predictability builds trust. When your value metric actually reflects the customer's progress, churn drops almost automatically. People stay because they can see themselves winning. They're not staring at a usage counter or a random limit. They're watching their own growth. It also makes billing feel fair. If the number makes sense to them, they don't argue with it, and they don't second-guess the subscription. And as their success compounds, your revenue scales alongside it without any pushiness. That's the point of a good value metric. It grows in the same direction as the customer, not against them. If you're mapping your pricing for next quarter, keep this in mind. Strong value metrics don't just make billing cleaner, they make product decisions easier as well. When you anchor everything to the customer's progress, you spot feature gaps faster, you prioritize better, and you avoid the churn spikes that come from unpredictable pricing. That's the whole point of getting this right.